Snipers, you have to see what's happening with Bitcoin price this Wednesday. Equity markets are about to close in less than 15 minutes. And the Feds announced a 50 basis points rate increase for interest rates. And look how equity markets reacted. For those that were tuned into our video yesterday, we switched the S&P 500 into a bullish puzzle piece. For the first time since we've been selling off because of the daily candle that tested the 100-week moving average. And now it's not a coincidence. The S&P 500 is up 2%. And we're going to talk about what's happening to Bitcoin as well as it's heading towards 42,000 US dollars, the range resistance. But check this out, snipers. The DXY has had its first meaningful pullback so far with this news by the Feds. You can see this 4-hour candle looks like the DXY is ready to calm down. So now we can switch the DXY back into a bullish puzzle piece. And this has also allowed the VIX to calm down. You can see the VIX clearly trending down right now. This is now a bullish puzzle piece. So guess what, snipers? As I've been saying, all of the bearish puzzle pieces were outside of our control in environments that weren't in the cryptocurrency market. And now they are bullish puzzle pieces. The bullish puzzle pieces inside of the cryptocurrency market are also showing strength. With the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we knew that because we were still above this monthly open at 72,000 Satoshis, it was still a bullish bias. You can see Ethereum up 6%, Bitcoin only up 5.43%. Not much of a difference, but Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin right now. There's a lot to discuss today, snipers. As long as we see follow through, it's almost as if what we're seeing right now is the buy the hype for the dollar to sell the news with interest rates. And that's why the dollar is starting to calm down. We've already seen equities take a major beating, and today equity markets were extremely volatile. Before the news, they were sort of selling off, and then after the news, we saw a very decisive break to the upside, not just for tech equities, but across the board. So let's look at Bitcoin. We held 38,000 US dollars. The range resistance right now is 42,000 US dollars. Why is this important? Well, at this point, if we can get above 42,000 US dollars, that would put us back above all of the short-term daily moving averages, the 150 period moving average. The 200 is still a lot higher, right around that $47,000 level. But getting back above the 50 and 100-day moving average would be the early signs of a successful rescue operation. So 42,000 is certainly on the table right now. It looks like we're going to come and face 40,000 in the immediate short term where we have this 600-day moving average. So getting back above the 600-day moving average would also be a very strong sign that Bitcoin is ready to get above 42,000. But we have to realize this range that we're moving sideways in right now for Bitcoin has a support of 38,000, a resistance of 42,000, snipers. And so when it comes to volume, what are we seeing with this move? Well, we haven't seen much 6-hour institutional volume just yet on the Bitcoin USDT spot pairing, but we are seeing increased buy volume on the 4-hour chart. So that certainly is positive. Have we found any sellers with this move to the upside so far on the micro timeframes? Well, let's even go into this 5-minute chart. You can see we have a strong amount of buyers right now, and we do not have sell pressure to equate to the amount of buyers just yet. So it looks like we're going to be seeing continuation. It looks like Bitcoin is ready to get above 40,000 US dollars, and that wouldn't be too big of a deal. The major resistance at this point, snipers, is 42,000 US dollars. We can expect that to be our first upside target for Bitcoin, and we just need to stay above 38,000 to keep that on the table. We also have confluence now with the monthly open right around that $38,000 level. So it certainly is the major support for Bitcoin that we do not want to break below. But I've been saying that the 600-day moving average, every time we're below it, you can see the only 2 times in the past that we've come below it, we've formed 2 higher lows, and they were wicks. This was the first time we had a little bit more time below the 600-day moving average. But unless we're going to be seeing a capitulation, there's no reason for us to stay below the 600-day moving average. And I do not expect a capitulation. We're just not seeing on-chain analytics indicating a capitulation is in the near term. And for those that were in the market in 2018 and in 2020, we all know that capitulations don't happen when everyone is talking about them. They happen out of nowhere. And so right now, I would say Bitcoin is in its best position to see further upside, and it's currently still in accumulation zone, being below that 600-day moving average at 40,000 US dollars. We've already taken a ton of positions on altcoins and Bitcoin over the last few days. And so now we're starting to see them move to our favorable direction. I do want to also mention this, snipers. All of the puzzle pieces so far are bullish, but what would switch them back to bearish puzzle pieces? Well, obviously the DXY, we do not want to see this continue to move up with decisiveness, but I'm not so worried because once we broke this major resistance level, we did not come and test it as a support just yet. And garden variety market behavior would say that we would at least come down to test this previous resistance as support around 100. And so I'm actually expecting even further downside for the DXY. With our first meaningful pullback, I think it's certainly time to turn it into a bullish puzzle piece. And it doesn't look like it would turn into a bearish puzzle piece anytime soon. And now that the S&P 500 is seeing some nice continuation, it's going to take a while for us to switch this back to a bearish puzzle piece. So it almost looks like we're in the early stages of this bullish rally. And so when we look at other revolving parts, I will mention the Euro USD is still showing weakness. I wouldn't call this a bullish puzzle piece just yet. I wouldn't say it's bearish either because the DXY had its first meaningful pullback. But once we can get above this major resistance, which was previous support, and by the way, every time the Euro USD has reversed back into an uptrend, like in 2017 and 2020, it started a bullish rally for Bitcoin. And so what we'd like to see for a more macro confirmation that we could potentially even see new all-time highs for Bitcoin before the end of this year is fulfillment for this Euro USD chart to get back above this major resistance, turned it as support. And once we see this happen, we will bring this chart back up. But we're going to leave this chart sort of aside for now until we can get that confirmation. But we want to see the Euro USD recover, and that would also be a very strong sign that in the macro, Bitcoin certainly can see some new all-time highs potentially by the end of this year. And then outside of that, I will say this, Bitcoin right now with this news is outperforming the SPY again. And we so far right now have been consolidating. We haven't seen much of a decoupling effect from Bitcoin and the SPY, but let's monitor this because we've seen Bitcoin decouple away from the SPY in the past. And at any point, if we do start to see that happening in the immediate short-term price action, that could indicate another bullish puzzle piece that we will monitor. And then outside of that, if we look at MicroStrategy up 4%, doing very well, also sold off earlier in the day, but then it recovered. Coinbase, same deal, up 4.38%. And so things are looking good all across the board for the equities. ARK Innovation ETF up 4.2% right now. And so that is all great to see. I know there were a ton of altcoins as well that we mentioned yesterday, all of them still performing very well, snipers. But smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm because despite all of the comments of people saying 25K immediately in the short term, 30K right around the corner, I kept saying, no, there's no reason for Bitcoin to do that right now. Things are actually starting to look good. And we switched the S&P 500 into a bullish puzzle piece just yesterday. And now look, it's up 2%. And we got to now switch the DXY to a bullish puzzle piece after the Fed's announcement just now. So things are coming back into the favor of the environment being calm enough to allow Bitcoin to continue price discovery, continue its overall trend to the upside. Because we know in the macro, Bitcoin is still very bullish. So never forget that, snipers. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this four-dimensional content. And that is it for today. I will get an emergency update out if we break above 42,000. I am expecting that. It's on the table at this point. We get back above that 600-day moving average. That's going to be the early signs of that, right around 40,000. And then 38,000 is the major support. If at any point the rug gets pulled here, 38,000 has to hold for Bitcoin, or else I'll open up the door to 36,500. Things look good, snipers. I'm excited to see what this week has to bring. And remember, on our red days, we want to prepare for our green days. And on our green days, we prepare for our red days. It looks like we're in the early phases of our green days right now. But let's continue to monitor the price action into this week. And we will continue to do that here on the Snipers channel. Thank you all for tuning in today. And I will see you all next time. Snipers.